Hey guys, Zach here from Kubota Lynchburg, and today I want to go over the BX series and do an orientation with you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with all the functions, the features, the buttons, the knobs. I do have Matt, one of our mechanics, here with us today, and he's going to help me take off the mower deck and take off the loader later on in this video, so you guys can see how those come on and off. But what I'm trying to do in this video is, if you just bought a new BX or bought a used BX and maybe you didn't have everything explained to you properly, I'm going to go over most of the basic functions and features. I might not hit every single thing because I don't want this to be a 30-minute video, but I'm going to try to hit as much as possible in a short time. So the BX series is a four-wheel drive hydrostatic transmission. And what I mean by a hydrostat is that on this tractor, you will have a forward and reverse pedal on the floor. So on this right-hand side, you'll have a forward pedal and a reverse pedal. That's very simple there. These are also a two-range transmission. So if we look at the stickers right here, you will see a turtle, a rabbit, and an N for neutral. So these are going to be your ranges. So if you wanted to go fast on the property, you would put it in the rabbit and you would press your levers. If you wanted to go a little slower, which is what I recommend for any kind of heavy-duty load, heavy-duty mowing or bucket work, you would want to put it into low range and then you would use it there. You'll gain a little bit more power and you won't wear out the transmission as fast doing that. But from one side of the property to the other, hit that thing into rabbit. Your other controls on this side are going to be four-wheel drive versus two-wheel drive. So you have your lever right here. Where it is disconnected, on the tractor is disconnected, that's a two-wheel drive. If those are connected, you're four-wheel drive. Do be at a stop or very gently rolling. Don't be doing this while moving fast. You want to be at a stop, ideally, to switch those out. Your other lever here is going to be raising and lowering your three-point hitch in your mower deck. So if I pull back, I'm going to be raising my three-point hitch in my mower deck. And if I push down, as you'll see, you're lowering those. So that's going to be how you control your mower deck, raising and lowering, and your three-point hitch. Now, they are simultaneous. You can lock your mower deck at the top height position, but ideally, you'll basically do one or the other, whatever you're going to be using it for, you'll have it hooked or unhooked. We'll go over the loader controls next, which will be right here. So this is a double acting valve. And what that means is I can both raise my loader arms and tilt my loader bucket at the same time. And I'll show that real quick. So I can raise and tilt simultaneously. That makes it very smooth operation. The other thing I want to show is, a lot of people aren't aware of this, but this loader has a float function. And what float function means is that there is no weight or down pressure on the loader. So if you see the loader right here, I could push down and it'll drop a little bit. But if I push this lever, so that's, dropping down. If I put it all the way down, it'll take the weight of the loader and it will drag it on the ground. So there's no down pressure, there's no up pressure on it. And what that means is it's very good for grading or back dragging areas, because you're not going to leave those uneven areas. So that's in float, and I just pull it back to the middle range when it's not in float. And again, float is further forward than it would normally be. A couple other small features here. You do have a tilt steering column on the BX2380, 23S, and 2680. If you have the BX1880, there is no tilt steering column, but this lever right here is going to be how you tilt your steering column to make it easier on and off and make it more comfortable. You also, on the 2380, 2680, and 23S, have a little orange button next to the throttle lever, and that's going to be cruise control. So I'll go ahead and take the camera again. I'll show you guys the dashboard here. So as we go to turn on the tractor, let me see if I can focus. You'll have your stop. This will turn on your electronics. That's your glow plugs to preheat your engine, and that'll be to start it. When you're preheating your engine, you will see the glow plug light indicator come on right there. And you want to do that for anywhere from 5 to 15 seconds. If it's really cold, you might have to do it for 15 seconds when you're about to start the engine. You have basically your RPMs right here. Your PTO speed is where you want to run your mower deck or your tiller or your bush hog, anything that's PTO driven. This is honestly around the 3,000 RPM range is where you want to keep your tractor most of the time when running it. And then you have your temperature gauge on this side, Don't let it get into the red. If it is into the red, you're going to want to change your radiator screen, your air filters, and start looking into why it's in the red. Don't let it get there. You don't want to blow an engine up. And then, of course, you have your fuel gauge right here. Simple, basic. You've got turn signals and headlights and hazards and everything on this side. Not much you're going to use there ever other than headlights. Again, your controls are going to be your hydrostat, forward and reverse. This is your brake pedal. So normally it's all the way at the top, but you can lock your parking brake with this other pedal where it shows the parking brake. So you'd push your brake pedal all the way down, step on this one, let go of the brake pedal there, and now your parking brake is locked in. And to release it, you just push it once and you're good to go. On this side, we have our PTO controls. So this lever here will turn on your PTO. If that is on, your tractor will not start. So you do have to have that off for your tractor to start. And then you also have your position controls. You have your rear PTO if you had a tiller or a bush hog on the back. You could run both simultaneously, or you have your middle PTO switch. So this would be for running your mower deck. So most of the time, if there's a mower deck on, which this one does, you would leave it on the middle there. And then this is to engage your actual PTO. I'm gonna hop off the tractor, hand back the camera, and we're gonna go show you guys one little panel box here that I like. You have your cup holder to hold your beer or your coffee or whatever you want to. You've got a little bit of storage, not much, but maybe a couple clips or something, but you do have a 12-volt outlet in here, which is nice. So you can put a phone charger or plug a sprayer or an implement or lights or something like that into it as well. Once we go to the back of the tractor, you're gonna have a 3-point hitch. And so on your 3-point hitch, you're gonna have a top link, and then you're going to have your lower links. Your top link is going to control the top of your implement for tilting it forward or back, and also give you more lift pivot point. And your lower links are going to be, your side-to-side controls. Now this one does have a quick hitch on it. I highly recommend, if you have a tractor and multiple implements on the rear, look at a quick hitch. There's other videos on the internet. I won't go into them right now. Quick hitches will save lives. But if we come and zoom in, I'll kind of talk a little bit here. You do have your stabilizer arms here, and that's going to stabilize your implement. So if you had like a bush hog on, you would want these arms to be a little bit tighter, and you would do that by loosening this jam nut and then spinning that in or out to make it a little bit tighter, so the bush hog isn't going all the way back and forth all the time. Underneath this cover here is going to be your PTO shaft. That's where you would hook your tiller or your bush hogger implement. If you do have multiple PTO implements, I would recommend looking into PTO Link. It's an easier system to attach your PTO implements. And honestly, if you hate your stabilizer arms right here, Messick's Equipment up in Pennsylvania makes a telescoping stabilizer system that is awesome. I hate these turnbuckle styles. The telescoping on it is the way to go. So little tips and tricks. If you have a new tractor, look into the PTO links, look into the telescoping stabilizers from Messick's Equipment. You have a folding roll bar. You can pull these pins here, and this roll bar will fold down. If your roll bar is up, always wear your seatbelt. If your roll bar is folded down, do not wear your seatbelt so you can jump off if you need to. Trying to think what other controls I need to go into. Let's go under the hood, and then we'll get Matt involved in helping us take the implements on and off. So to go under the hood, your front grill guard here, and there's a couple different variations. No matter what, this will push forward. That's going to bring it out of the way of the hood. This little lever here is how you open your hood. You're going to pull up and out. That's what these arrows mean. You're going to pull up and out. Sometimes they're stiff. Very stiff. There we go. Now you can see it's up and out, and that'll unlock your hood here. Open this. You're going to have a couple important things. If you remember, I said it'd be overheating. You want to make sure your radiator screen is clean. So if you have a whole bunch of dirt, dust, debris, blow that off. You're going to have your air filter here. You pop off all your little arms, and you're going to have your air filter there. You're going to blow that out and clean that out occasionally. And then, let's see, on this side, you have an inline fuel filter. So if you ever get water in your fuel, or you accidentally put gas in your tank or something like that, you change that fuel filter. Otherwise, you change that every, I'm pretty sure it's every 100 hours is what we recommend as a dealership. Read your owner's manual for more details on it. Then we're going to go to the other side of the engine. Oh, well, while we're over here, I'll show. Your front axle does take axle oil. This is just straight 80W90 gear oil. So you want to make sure that is full. It should come full from the factory, but again, if you bought a used tractor or something like that, you want to check that to make sure that, this is just a dipstick. You want to make sure that, it's tight in there. There's a dipstick, like an engine oil dipstick. I'm not going to bother pulling it out. Make sure that has oil in there. While we're on the front of the machine, I'll go over the quick attach system. Not all of these come with the universal style quick attach, but to take your bucket on and off, you pull these two levers. And if you zoom in right here, you're going to see this is how this locks and unlocks. So it's locking from the frame of the bucket. So you want to make sure that when you do put your bucket back on, that it goes smoothly into there and latches, I just crunched my thumb, latches back in. So be careful. These are all moving mechanisms. We're going to go to this side of the engine now. We have our coolant reservoir right here. So your white tank right there is coolant reservoir. You can add the engine oil in the top right there. And your check engine oil is this right here. So that's how you check your engine oil to it. That's what you're going to be checking on the engine. As far as your transmission, checking your hydraulics, that was on the back of the tractor right here next to your 3-point hitch. That is going to be where you check your hydraulic fluid levels. So again, all these dipsticks, make sure that they're showing appropriate on the dipstick. That is important. You do want to use the Kubota Super UDT for the transmission. Now the engine oil, 10W30, 1540, any of that is great. On the transmission, you do want to make sure you use the Kubota Super UDT too. It'll make your transmission last a lot longer and have a lot better quality and service over the years. So Matt, if you want to come on over, I guess we'll take off the loader first because that's a very easy one. I'll kind of talk you guys through it as Matt does it. Put the grill guard back. So this is what we'll call a swift attach loader. And what that means is it is easy to take on and off the tractor. You can start up the process. You're going to take on and off the tractor without getting out of the seat. So you're going to raise your bucket and loader all the way up. You're going to drop your kickstands. You'll see those drop down here in a second by using the lever on your left-hand side. He's going to take the pressure off of them so it doesn't make as much of a clang. You take that lever down. Your kickstand comes down. He's going to drop the bucket and the kickstand into the dirt. You actually take all the weight off the front tires and you'll unlatch it. And I'll show you guys those latches in a second. Once it's unlatched from the tractor, come on in, you're going to slowly back away until the kickstand hits as well. You're uncurling your bucket. And then come to this side. You use your hydraulics to basically pull the bucket off. And now we have access to our hydraulic couplers right here. So this is all 4 hydraulic hoses come into here. You can see Matt was wiggling the hydraulics. He's loosening all the pressure off the loader valves and hoses. There's a little red knob that unhooks it physically. And now you're disconnected from your loader. So you could now back away from the machine if you wanted to, go mow your grass, go do other implements. And then of course you can pull back in. I'm not going to make them back away. We're just going to hook it back up. So we're going to do the opposite of what it was. We're going to take that off. We're going to put it back on. All 4 couplers line up. Pull that latch back down and around. And if you want more details, I do have another video on how this exactly is done. But since it's a BX orientation, we'll show you guys this. Going to put your loader arms back in. And I will tell you, it's not always going to go this smooth. It isn't always lining up, but something is nice. Make sure you do on level ground. And you'll see that sometimes Matt has to like reach forward and shift them side to side. It's not always going to line up smoothly at first, but it's supposed to. There we go. He's going to latch those loader locks back in, raise back up. He's going to curl the bucket so it raises this kickstand back up in. And it's going to lock itself in with that lever on your left-hand side. So now we're going to go right into the mower deck. The mower deck is honestly a little bit more complex. It just is a couple more steps to it. So you raise your mower deck up. He's going to change it to basically the 0, the bottom position on this knob. So where the arrow is at the top, it's pointing to the 0, and that's going to drop it all the way down to rest on the ground. So that's important, so it's resting on the ground. We're going to loosen these ramps up. we're going to pull this knob here, and that's going to let the back tire kick out. And that's going to put all the pressure onto the actual frame of the mower deck rather than all those wheels and tires. And we're going to come around that side. Watch your step. And there's a couple certain knobs. Matt will kind of show you the sequence of them. Those are unlinking your mower deck from the actual frame of the tractor. That's probably the most complex thing, is making sure you do that in the right sequence, is making sure that happens well. And then you literally just drive back over it. Four-wheel drive is best. You want to do it in gravel or dirt. If you try to do this on concrete, it'll slip and slide everywhere. And that's how you take off the mower deck. So once you take off the mower deck, you want to make sure that you service it properly, grease all your pivot points, grease your spindles and bearings, make sure that this gearbox has oil in it, and check to make sure that all these are in good shape. But that's your orientation video on a BX. Anywhere from service points. As far as overall service intervals, you want to do your break-in service at 50 hours, change your engine oil filter, and your hydraulic filters at 50 hours. After that, you get to go every 150 hours between services roughly. At 200 hours, you change your hydraulic fluid and your fuel filters and everything like that. These tractors, brand new, now come with a 6-year powertrain warranty and 2-year fender defender. So keep that in mind. Obviously, comment if you have any questions or concerns. Let us know. And of course, your dealership should hopefully be able to help you out with any more specifics.